Washing your hair sounds really simple. There's some common damaging mistakes that prevent your hair from achieving its true potential. Here at my salon, I train every new stylist on how to avoid these mistakes. And today I want to show you exactly what they are and how you can avoid them. It's really important that you never wash your hair unless there's some oil in it. The reason is because your shampoo is looking for oil to bind to. And if it doesn't find any, it's gonna strip natural, healthy oil out of your hair, which dries it out, makes it brittle, and helps it get damaged. Not what you're going for. Knowing that, the question is, what do you oil your hair with? And this is super important, so I need you to write this down, go right out and buy it later. The brand is called Sebum, and your hair actually sells it to you for free, so it's really easy to get. Sebum is a natural oil that you find in your hair. Your hair follicles produce it automatically, and after a couple of days, your roots and your scalp are covered in sebum, and that's when it's time to wash your hair. So here's the thing, by the time you need to wash your hair, it's already covered in oil. You can probably feel it when your hair is dirty. That means there's no need to come in with a second layer of oil to put on top of the first layer of oil. All that's gonna do is make you have to use even more shampoo. It's like going to a car wash and paying them to put extra mud on your car before they wash it. It's not what you do. But don't get me wrong, hair oil is amazing when it's on clean hair. Everyone should be using it after they shower. That way it stays in your hair and you actually get the benefits of it. But the last thing you want to do is put it on dirty hair right before you wash it. You're just gonna end up using more shampoo to send it down the drain. There's a lot of truth to the saying that healthy hair starts with a healthy scalp. But the question is, how do you actually get a healthy scalp? There is a ton of conflicting advice out there, and most of it comes from people who are trying to sell you healthy scalp products, so you can't really trust them. The good news is that you don't need to buy a whole separate product just to have a healthy scalp. You just need to understand two things. Number one is that when you wash your hair, you have to fully cleanse your scalp of all the oil and all the buildup. You cannot have all this caked up stuff on there that stays for a long time. Accomplishing this is literally step number one of your healthy hair journey. You can't get anywhere until you do this. This is exactly where a lot of my clients are stuck when they first come in, and I want to make sure that you never get stuck here. Enter Scalp Scrubs. They're meant to help you cleanse all the oil and all the buildup off your scalp so it's nice and healthy, which allows you to go days between washes, which allows you to have super healthy hair. Now let's take a quick step back, because part of your subconscious is probably asking, like, why can't I just use shampoo? Like, why do I have to use a scalp scrub? Why is it that every time I go on TikTok, people are telling me that I have to put oil in my hair to make it dirty before I wash? So I put oil in my hair to make it dirty, I use a scalp scrub to get it clean again, and then I'm exactly back where I started, and now I still have to use shampoo. So what's the point? And the thing is, you are right. You are absolutely right. This is just hair industry shenanigans to try to get you to buy even more products. So get that out of here. The problem is that there's so many shampoos and conditioners out there that it's almost impossible for you to find the right one for you. And that's why you have to resort to scalp scrubs and hair oils and that type of stuff. Your shampoo soulmate is an exact match for your hair type and hair goals. Once you find it, you won't need any of those other silly products. 5 years ago, I went to my salon distributor and bought every shampoo and conditioner set that they had. Kind of looked like Noah's Ark. It took me a while, but me and my stylist tested every single one of them, and I started keeping a running list of the best shampoos for each hair type and hair goal. If you want that, it's called my recommended product list. You can get it right in the description, and it even has a hair type quiz to find your exact hair type. In the end, most new product categories are BS. All you need to know is the basic fundamentals of hair care. You don't need that many products. All right, let's talk about the temperature of the water that you use. If you have bright fantasy colors, like if you have red, blue, purple, orange, anything like that, without a doubt, you need to be using cold water, because that's gonna help you preserve your color. But what temperature should everybody else be using who doesn't have those colors? When I first got into the hair industry, I was taught to use warm-ish water, then the shampoo and conditioner, and then afterwards to rinse with really cold water. But the cold water is really uncomfortable, and my salon co-founder really hates cold water. So one day she said, we're not doing cold water. Can't stand it, I'm not doing it today. So we ended up using warm water on her, and we took a look afterwards to see how the hair looked, and it was exactly the same. After that, for the next year, we just kept using warm water and everything was totally fine, until one day she was like, you know what, let's just use really hot water. She loves to take really hot showers, so we use like scalding hot water on her, which is what she likes. After using that super hot water, I styled her hair, finished it, and we took a look to see if there were any changes. There were no changes. That was years ago. We've been using scalding hot water on her, water that would burn most of my clients, and everything has been totally fine with her hair. After all this, I had all my stylists stop doing the cold rinse. There's really no point, there's no difference, and it's really uncomfortable for the client, so we just quit doing it. Do what you want. All right, so let's get into the actual shampoo process and how you apply it, because the way you do it actually makes a huge difference in the health of your hair. The first thing that you need to know is that the oil is produced by your scalp, not by the hair. As stylists, we really screwed this up. It shouldn't be called washing your hair, it should be called washing your scalp, because that's what you want to wash. You want to keep the shampoo around your scalp and never down by your mids or ends. Number one, it strips the natural oil from your hair. There's no oil from your scalp down here, so if you put shampoo on your mids and ends, it's gonna dry it right out, make it damaged and brittle. Not what you want. Here's what you want to do instead. You're gonna take your shampoo, put it in your hand, and you're not just gonna go in one big glob. What you're gonna do is actually wait and apply it strategically to certain places on your head before you start scrubbing. You're gonna start applying your shampoo in the top back of your head, because that's the dirtiest part where the worst oil hides. And it helps if you actually spread your hair apart first, take a little bit of shampoo, put it in the top of the back and push it up against the scalp. You're not trying to put on the hair, you wanna force it up next to the scalp. Next, you're gonna take a little bit more shampoo and you're gonna put it on top of your head, starting about an inch back from your hairline, and run it right over there. You're gonna try and push it up onto the scalp, not on top of the hair, down to the scalp. What you're gonna do with the rest of the shampoo is spread it on your hands just once or twice, then do the same thing on the sides, press it into the scalp, and go back. And only now, after you get the shampoo in those specific locations, do you actually start scrubbing. And when I mean scrub, you actually need to scrub. You need to get in there. You should be pressing firmly, not so much that it hurts or anything. You don't want to irritate your scalp. You should press firmly and actually get in there. And you want to remember that you're focusing on cleaning your scalp, not your hair. If you get your scalp clean, I promise you, your hair will automatically get clean in the process. A lot of people freak out when they learn that, because they're like, what about the product on my mids and ends? If I only have shampoo up here, how am I getting rid of that? And the answer is the quality products will actually rinse out of your hair automatically. But on the off chance that you're not using really good products, some of the shampoo will actually go down just because of gravity. And if you really want to make sure you got it really well, you can take a little bit of the suds from up here and bring them down. That's the way to do it. You never want to apply shampoo directly to your mids and ends. Just bring some of the suds down. Now, super important note here, you do not want to get the shampoo all lathered up in your hands. That ruins everything for a couple of different reasons. I used to have this one stylist in my salon that took forever to wash hair. I loved her. She was absolutely amazing. Took way too long to wash hair. So I make it a point to find out exactly what's taking her so long. And one of these days, I'm back at the shampoo bowls with her and I'm watching her and I see her lathering up the shampoo all over her hands before she puts it in her client's hair. It turned out that she had to wash her client's hair 3 times to get it clean. Now we usually have to do it twice. Twice is normal, but she had to do it a whole extra time because she was doing this super lather thing on her hands. The reason that's bad and the reason that she had to wash her clients 3 whole times was because the oil is on the scalp. And when you go like this to poof up the shampoo, it's really hard to get it all the way down to the scalp. It wants to stay on top of the hair instead of penetrating underneath where the oil is. So for the next client, I had her watch me and we put on the shampoo when it was still in liquid form before it turned into a lather. And guess what? We only had to wash twice. And I know it's super tempting to get all this lather and put it on top of your hair. Like, look at me, it has to be clean. Look at all this lather. But no, you just made a bunch of lather and then put it on top of your hair. You didn't actually get it clean. It's pretty much the same as spraying yourself down with water to make it seem like you're sweating instead of actually going to the gym. It's not the same thing. All right, so speaking of suds and lather, it's actually really misunderstood. So I want to talk about a couple misconceptions here and how suds can actually make you have better hair. First of all, you have to know that shampoo is divided into professional shampoo and cheap drugstore shampoo. Drugstore shampoo does not get your hair clean. You don't want to use that. You want to be using a professional shampoo, which seems at first glance to be a little bit more expensive, but the thing is, it's actually not, because it gets your hair to stay clean for so much longer. you don't have to use it that often. And professional shampoo isn't watered down the way drugstore brands are, so one of these is worth like 2 of these big guys. So bringing this back to suds, drugstore shampoos have fake suds. You can't trust these suds at all. You basically want to ignore them. Don't use these. But professional shampoo is absolutely amazing because these suds will actually tell you when your hair is clean, which is a huge deal. Let me tell you why that's a huge deal. The suds will tell you exactly how much shampoo to use and exactly when your hair is clean, which makes life so much easier. It works like this. Professional shampoos create suds when there's no oil or buildup for them to bind to. Let me say that in a slightly different way. When you see tons of suds, you can stop washing because your hair is clean. So you'll notice here on the first wash, I'm not getting that many suds. That means that the hair is still dirty, so I need to do a second wash. And then on the second wash, you can see here that there are a lot of suds, plenty of suds. That means that the hair is clean and I can stop washing. So let's talk about how you actually do this to use the perfect amount of shampoo. On the first wash, you're just going to use normal amount of shampoo. Normal wash, normal amount of shampoo. But on the second wash, you're going to use less shampoo than you think you would actually need, and then you're slowly going to add more shampoo until you have the suds that you're looking for. Lots of suds. This is a really important thing to do because your hair is not always equally dirty. Sometimes you're gonna go an extra day before you wash and it's gonna be really dirty and you're gonna need to use more shampoo. And then on another day, you might have an event, so you're washing your hair a day early so there's not as much oil in there. And if you use too much shampoo for the amount of oil that's in your hair, then you'll actually strip it of natural oils. That's bad. You wanna use the perfect amount of shampoo. That's how you do it. All right, so why the whole 2 washes instead of just 1 wash? And here's the thing, it sounds strange, but oil is actually really hard to clean. This isn't like a car where you get some mud on your car and you can kind of just like rinse it off and then wash it once afterwards and you're good. This is more like a pan that you use to cook a whole bunch of bacon in, and there's a bunch of grease on the bottom. You're not gonna be able to rinse that out because oil and water do not dissolve into each other. You know that with a big greasy pan, you can't just kind of go like this once over and be done. There's a whole bunch of oil on there. You need to wash it a couple times to get it fully clean. Your hair is exactly the same. And for those of you who say that I can get my hair clean in only 1 wash, okay, that's totally fine. But here's the thing, if you can get your hair clean with only 1 wash, you're not going long enough between washes. All right, so after you do your 2 washes and get your scalp all the way clean, all the way clear of all the oil and buildup, it is time to condition your hair. Before you do this, you want to get all the extra water out of your hair. You don't want it sopping wet, but at the same time, you don't want to get the water out of it by going like this and twisting around and doing any of that. You want to keep your hair straight, and you're just going to kind of squeeze water out and go down your hair so it's not soaking wet anymore. This is really not hard. Don't overthink it. Don't try to anticipate the amount of water in your hair. Just get it so it's not soaking wet. Not a big deal. Now this next part is something that I do really, really differently. If you know me, I am a product minimalist. You want to use the absolute least amount of products possible to get your desired result. But here's the thing, most people are not using enough conditioner. Conditioner is one of those foundational products that does so much work for your hair. If you have dry hair, you're way better off using extra conditioner than you are buying all these other products to hydrate your hair. Use the conditioner. Conditioner is amazing. Now, technically, you want to apply your conditioner to your mids and your ends and stay away from your roots. And for most people, that's a really good idea. But honestly, you can get away with putting some up here a little bit. I do it all the time with my clients. I would kind of experiment with both, see how you like it. Only a little bit up here if you want to do that, not a ton. Try it out, see if you like it. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is the people who email me saying, Chris, whatever I do, I can't get the conditioner out of my hair. Like I rinse it over and over and there's still some in my hair. That's totally fine. You actually want to keep a little bit in your hair. You don't want to rinse it all out. It's totally fine to leave a little bit in there, especially if you're a blonde whose hair tangles really, really easy because it's damaged. Leave some conditioner in there. That's a really good thing. All right, so let's talk about towels. There's a lot of chatter about what type of towel you should use to dry your hair off after you get out of the shower. You'll hear a lot of people screaming and yelling that you need to use a microfiber towel. And yeah, that's what we use in my salon every day. We keep them in a towel warmer. It's a great experience, but it's not the only thing you can do. It's not the most important thing in the world. Let's say you're on vacation and you forgot to pack your microfiber towel and you're freaking out in your hotel room. It's really not that big of a deal. If you don't have a microfiber towel, you can easily just use a t-shirt. doesn't really matter. But what is a really big deal is when you're drying your hair off, you do not want to go like this. This is not like tornado style. You don't want to do that. That is really bad for your hair. What you want to do instead is just pat the hair dry. You want to press your towel into the hair so it absorbs the water without getting all tangled and messed up. Anyway, after you put the towel on, you are done with this. That's now your after shower routine. Totally separate video, but I want to remind you, all of this hinges on having your shampoo soulmate. You need to have the right shampoo and the right conditioner, otherwise it's going to be too heavy or not get your hair clean. You're going to get bad results, even if you're doing it the right way. If you still need to find your shampoo soulmate, you can find it at the link in the description, or if you'd rather watch it in a video, you can watch the video on the next screen to find the best shampoo for every hair type.